Episode 12 of Shinkalion opens with Hayato getting a weekend getaway to Kyoto where his dad is now stationed. His family is coming with him. Hayato is initially hesitant about taking a trip since he wouldn't be there for the others in case a giant monstrous being comes along and they need to deploy. Akta says, "Yeah, no, you leave everything to us. Go on the trip. Have a nice time with your family." Then the day comes. This is one of those moments, since I'm not Japanese, whether or not this is actually true or something made up for the show. However, we do get something plot relevant, the N700A. Back at HQ, we see everything is quite boring. Akta is just polishing a rifle, while Suranuki is just eating. Shashot is bored out of his mind, as much as a robot can be bored. Meanwhile, the box lunches are making me oddly hungry despite the fact that I made this video during lunch. Seriously, there's so much food that looks good that I want to eat, despite the fact that I was already eating while making this video. However, another storm of black particles appear. Instead of a rock or a creature or fire being the part of this is one of the villains, Genbu. Commander Izumi recognizes the villain. Hayato had yet to leave for Kyoto, meanwhile E6 and E7 are on their way with the E3 not too far behind. Akita is in the lead, and Tsurunuki and Shinobu are grabbed by the monster who begins monologuing. This shocks the kids. Genbu knows how they fight and demonstrates how to deal with them. The clash gets so intense that the strange lightning effects begin appearing to break the illusion in the capture field. Hayato gets permission from his mom to basically abandon the trip, even though, let's be honest, the trip was already delayed because of giant monstrous shenanigans. Meanwhile, it's getting bad. Here's a bit of a problem that I have. We're constantly told about the catastrophic damage, but we never actually see the models get roughed up or a screen of them losing health or something like that. Back to the story itself. Even though Hayato joins in on the fight, he's not doing so great. Even a full Grand Cross is not able to actually defeat Genbu. Genbu just really scoffs it off, just being annoyed if anything else. Then a new Shinkalion debuts, the N700A. Remember when I brought that up earlier? Yeah, me too. Enter episode 13, where this new Shinkalion ends up damaging Genbu, able to get a massive hit in and force Genbu to stumble. This doesn't defeat Genbu. Instead, Genbu invokes his power as a villain, teleporting away at will. The driver of the N700A is Ryuji. He's older than the drivers at 14 and is generally dismissive of them. Ryuji is apparently under Hokuto's jurisdiction in Kyoto. If you haven't noticed, Shinkalion has this theme of being together and working together. Ryuji's general disposition about being a loner annoys just about everyone in Team Shinkalion, even saying that their fighting style is immature and unrefined. Not that he's wrong, they are children after all. Even bringing up how the Institute prefers older drivers because, well, throwing kids into battle, it doesn't exactly elicit nice responses. Despite being relatively new at this, Ryuji got a lot more information revealed up front to him. This makes him conclude that he was basically trained to replace the children. Of course, there's one of the scientists giving him that massive stink eye, because obviously this isn't true, even though he got told about the iron will that powers the Shinkalions. Yeah, that's a whole plot point. Obviously no. However, it's not that they believe him, it's that, well, Hayato believes him. In the underground, Genbu is recovering from his injuries. Back to Ryuji, the reason why he's like this is because of his sick mother. It's honestly interesting to see a character like this use to stir up conflict. He masks his own melancholy and fear with an air of confidence and, by extension, arrogance. And it's not unlike Hayato, who hides his own familial concerns behind an air of happiness. The biggest difference here is that Hayato clearly has a very healthy outlet for his feelings, basically everyone on Team Shinkalion, and even his own mother. What does Ryuji have? He really doesn't have any of that. His mother is perpetually sick, and you'll learn that he does have a brother after this. His need to be the adult in the room ends up bleeding into how he works with others. Well, how he doesn't work with others. When Genbu strikes again, Hayato's ability to be honest with himself ends up granting him a brief power boost. However, Ryuji deploys anyways, and the creature calls himself Genbu and begins monologuing, and Ryuji makes an opening by punching him in the chest. Ryuji and Hayato land the final blow here. Yep, they just killed one of the biggest main antagonists up until this point. In a conversation after the battle, Director Hayasugi says his son has to deal with the fact that the Shinkalion program has expanded all over the country. We get a montage of toy commercials, first one being Hatsune Miku. No, I am not joking. Genbu is gone now. But if you know your mythology, Genbu is just one of the 4 gods, Genbu being the black tortoise from Chinese mythology. Suzaku, this lady, is the vermilion bird, and she'll take over antagonist duties from here on. I'm not the type to like debuting a character and power up to beat an old villain, but I do think it works well, because I find the conflict far more engaging than, well, Genbu has been as a villain. In terms of the fight with Genbu, I found it okay, a bit anticlimactic, but I guess that's fine, because he is a starter villain. But those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.